Zoom is stuck.
Okay.
Maybe can you remove her? And then you just kick her out, and then she.
Is it live now? We are having some technical difficulties, so please bear with us for a second. We'll be back after 1 minute.
My laptop got super hot.
Oh my god. Live chat. Hi. Anyone?
You know, Aggie, your face. So whoever is watching now, hi, we are getting ready to a call right live into Spain. Sophia from Spain will be with us, and she's going to share what it's like to be there. You know, with all the crazy number of cases in Europe, Spain is one of the hardest hit countries, but also they're having some kind of lockdown, and it's really interesting to see how people are doing there. So she's just trying to get her computer ready. There are some issues. The computer just crashed.
Yes.
We're waiting for her to join us.
So please stay with us. In the meantime, if you have any questions that you would like to ask about Spain's condition right now, or if you would like to give us some suggestions what you would want to learn about the world, what kind of, for example, what countries you would like to learn from, do tell us, comment in the chat, and we will, who knows, in a few weeks time we might feature your ideas as part of our series.
So whoever just said hi on YouTube, we say hi back.
Yeah.
Is that Ethan? I have the feeling it could be Ethan, but anyway, hi.
Yeah, so for those of you who join us, please just join us. Please bear with us for a few moments as we experience some technical difficulties. We'll be back up very shortly. Yes. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to us on YouTube or go to our Instagram, Facebook, and click on the like or follow us. All right.
Oh, yeah, just give the link.
So if you are in the chat, please say hi to us. And,
you mean the one person watching?
Yes.
Yeah, we also have not had dinner yet, but
so please, we do apologize for the technical difficulties. It's our first time trying to do this web,
especially calling
interviews.
to Spain.
Yes, as you know, they are currently in pretty much in a lockdown, and might be experiencing some technical difficulties too. Anyway, so we are. So what happened is, as you guys know, we often go to schools, share about our culture, but because this is not possible right now with the whole virus things going on, we are trying something new today, which is really a chance to connect to someone who is living in another country. And you guys actually get the chance to ask any questions, okay? Any burning questions that you have, and we will relay it to our guest and ask for his or her opinion. Okay, so this is the whole purpose of having this series. We really hope that over the next few weeks we will be able to get more ideas from you guys, and let's make it a bit more fun. All right. So even though you might be stuck at home right now, it's the perfect chance for you to learn about the world. Right? And what better way to learn about the world than to have a live chat and ask our guests some burning questions that you have. And And also, if you are watching this at home, this is something that I am very interested in. I am very passionate in doing because as you, past few weeks, we see a lot of fake news, a lot of these sharing of videos or messages saying that so and so or my friend's mom's uncle is from the Department of Health and we have some information, right? So there are a lot of information flying around on social media. Some can be true, some can be fake, and I thought that this live chat would be actually a very good thing for you guys to actually learn about the world without really having some first hand experience talking to the guest. Okay, so let's see, who do we have here on our YouTube now. Aha. Okay, so we have don't touch my face. Yes, I don't think I touched my face. I will constantly remind myself not to do so. If I touch my face, please comment in the box and stop me from doing that. Okay. Yes. So Christina asks, which is really about Hong Kong right now. So what's going on in Hong Kong? Could you say a few words about your current situation? And so maybe we also have Aggie from Hong Kong. You can share a few things.
Wait, can we close it? We're going to
Yes.
close it for like 10 seconds and then stop.
Okay, so before we answer your questions, we're gonna do a bit of a reset, okay, and I'll come back to your questions very soon.
Oh my god, then I just said,
Are we still on live?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on live, right? Ah, cool.
Ah, there we go. Hey,
Okay.
I can see you. By the way, in the bottom right corner, there's a button with 3 dots, and it will open an action menu, and there you can see start live stream and start recording or share a YouTube video.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. We're using different system. We're just using it as an input.
You're using what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so what are we doing right now?
Okay, so all right, so sorry for the technical difficulties for our audience over there. So just before we begin, Christina again asked about the situation in Hong Kong right now. So over the past few days, of course, the number of infection has been steadily increasing after quite a period of dropping. Okay, so because now we are seeing a second wave, but people are wearing masks. The government has implemented a lot of laws to do social distancing. So just yesterday we implemented something for the restaurants that only a maximum of 4 per table. So we are still monitoring. As far as I'm concerned, there's not too much of a hoarding issue right now. It happened earlier last month, but nowadays it's been pretty much stable. Okay, so this is what I see. Okay, but for everyone else, welcome back. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulty, and we are live again now with our guest. Okay, Sophia. But before I introduce her to you guys, so just to introduce myself, my name is Till. Sorry, I missed Till too much. Right. Right. My name is Jay. I'm from Singapore. I'm working in Hong Kong right now for this organization. And who are you?
I'm Jay. So I'm the real Till, okay, in case anyone was wondering. And you probably just saw black screen the whole time, so and now you see us again. So I am Till from Germany, and this is Jay.
Yes. So we are from social enterprise called Intercultural Education, ICEHongKong for short. And basically, our social mission is really for people to learn more about the world, understand more, and be true global citizens. Okay, and in the past, we've always been doing it through a face-to-face interaction because we believe that's the best way to do it. But as I explained just now, with the coronavirus 19 spreading around, it's impossible to do so. So this is the first time we're trying to do something online. Okay, and I think it's very special because we're going to link you up with people who are living abroad, our friends who are living abroad, and you guys get to ask questions live, and we will be able to relay your questions to them. Okay. Now, even if you're not watching live, you can still help to play a part by commenting on the box or private messaging us, letting us know what kind of topics would you like to know or what countries would you like to know more about. And hopefully in the next few weeks, we will be able to connect you to learn about the topic. Okay, and so without further ado, let's begin.
Yep. So, okay, I'm here again here. So you can see I'm always with Jay and with our lovely Eki here. Yeah, so we're starting in a second. But yeah, please, I ask you again, write some questions into the comments in YouTube. We want to know what you want to know about Spain, what you want to know about Europe. Our guest, Sophia, she is from Germany, but lives in Spain. But she has lots of friends in Germany as well. So as you may have heard, Germany is also kind of crazily affected. They have, I think, more than 500 dead and several 10,000 infected. So it's quite a big thing as well. And I think they're banned meetings of more than 2 people. So in Hong Kong is more than 4, right? Germany is more than 2 people. That's kind of crazy. So if you have questions about Hong Kong, you can also use that anytime. Okay, so please think a little bit about this when we're getting everything ready. So yeah. Sorry, just our Sophia needs to join us again.
Yes, but again, in the meantime, please comment on the box below. We can see your comments. Okay, we will respond accordingly. Okay, so if you have any burning questions, just feel free to ask. Okay, there's no such thing as a bad question, as we believe in ICE over here.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Okay.
Hello.
All right. I think our guest is online again.
Yay.
Let's see if our guest can also get video going. Sophia, if you're still in Jitsi, then maybe the camera is locked. So check if you can use it.
Okay, I can see you guys. You look very cozy over there.
During coronavirus, maybe we should not get too cozy.
Oh yes.
That's right.
Distance.
Actually, social distancing, guys. 1.5 meter apart.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Actually, quite true. I should wear a mask even. Okay. So maybe for the rest of you, please continue to write any questions that you have for our guest, Sophia. Okay, and we will get back to you guys very quickly. Okay, and yes, give us a few more moments.
Yes, in fact.
It just breaks down.
Yeah, our software just had a weird issue. Okay, Sophia, you stay with us. If you're watching on YouTube, apologize once again. We will quickly stop the live stream and we'll be online very, very soon again, okay? In a few minutes. So please stay there, stay online, refresh. We'll quickly cut the live stream, okay? Very, very quickly, okay? See you very soon. Stay online. And Sophia, you stay with us. Back.
Yay! We're
Okay.
here.
Okay, we are back. So finally,
Finally, we can control. Oh my God.
Everything is
Okay.
back. Okay.
So maybe quickly go back here. Okay,
Yes.
so let's try this one more time. I hope everyone is back. Ladies and gentlemen, finally. I apologize for all this delay. Finally. Oh my God. If every episode of this is like this, we're gonna kill ourselves. Sorry. No. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Intercultural Education.
Yeah.
The first in our series crosstalk. We're going to talk with Sophia in Spain, and Sophia is with us. Okay, and we have a look. Sophia, say hi.
Hi, hola.
Hola, Sophia.
Hola,
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. Yeah.
All right. Yes, Sophia, could you just introduce yourself to our audience over there? Let them know who you are, and which city are you in right now?
Okay. Well, right now I'm living in Barcelona, Spain, but I'm not originally from here. In fact, I'm German, and for the past 7 years until very recently, I used to live in Hong Kong. This is how I got to know ICE. And then beginning of this year, more or less, I moved to Barcelona. And first it was a massive cultural shock coming from Asia, moving to Europe, to Spain. People love to celebrate. They kiss each other on the cheeks, and they're very close and physical. And then all of a sudden we have Corona, which is now the complete opposite of what Spanish people like to do in terms of social distancing. And yeah, so it's been very interesting. But yeah, I'm on my 17th day of home quarantine.
17th day of home
I'm still
quarantine.
good.
Okay. And how many days of quarantine? So it's on permanent lockdown right now, right?
Yeah, so it's indefinite. Nobody knows really when they will relax these measures. It started 2 weeks ago, and it was imposed very swiftly and without much notice. The thing is, actually, in February, I was back in Hong Kong for a week. And in Hong Kong at this time, Corona was already in full swing, and
yes.
everyone was very concerned, and schools were closed. And so I got a little taste of what Corona could feel like and what kind of impact it would have. But in Spain, it actually took another month or so before we went into lockdown. And yeah, and 3 weeks ago I was still hiking. There were festivals and parades and loads of people outside, and now streets are empty. And I'm very impressed, I have to say, that local people here were very accepting and actually following the rules. They're really trying to make this as safe and pleasant is the wrong word, but they try to cooperate. They really try, and I know it's hard.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow. So that's something that we have also seen on the news, which is why it's a good time also to clarify with someone who is currently living in Spain, in Barcelona, and the whole structure of the session will be as such. We will ask a few questions to Sophia just to begin with, but in the meantime, I will be monitoring the live chat, and we will get your questions into Sophia in just a few moments, right? So maybe Till, would you like to have do you have any questions for Sophia?
Well, maybe. I mean, you mentioned you were in Hong Kong before, and also you mentioned already a little bit that there's a bit of a cultural difference already, right? With Hong Kongers being so more conscious about the disease, but also in general not being the huggy, kissy type of people when you meet, right? So maybe before we even talk about the actual disease and how they're handled, can you share a little bit what the transition was like? Because you went to Hong Kong at the beginning of the outbreak of the virus, right? Like in January or?
It was end of January, beginning of February.
Yes.
So it was right after Chinese New Year, or you could say at the beginning of the Lunar New Year. And yeah, I had a trip scheduled. It was a friend's wedding. And, at that time I was already quite concerned. Should I even make the trip or should I stay home? But yeah, I decided to go, and I'm okay, I survived it. But so maybe to start end of last year, this is basically the last image that I had in my head of Hong Kong, which is a very crowded, very busy city. Of course, Hong Kong was battling with protests, and that had already shaped, the feeling out there on the street. But basically, the image in my head was Hong Kong is full of people. And then when I came back in February, the streets were empty. I was like, where is everyone? And I was walking in the middle of the street because there were no cars, no people, and I had never seen Hong Kong like this before. And also one thing that really was very noticeable is in Hong Kong, almost everybody wears masks, right? And that is, I would say it's also a cultural difference. So before going to Hong Kong, I tried to buy masks and I couldn't find any. And when I arrived in Hong Kong, I had the same issue, right? So I went to pharmacies, I asked, do you have masks? No, nothing. If you want masks, you have to queue for hours, or you have to have some secret connection, I don't know.
The black market of masks. I think my experience as a foreigner living in Hong Kong is like every Hong Konger has some connection to the secret mask market. But if you're just like a stupid foreigner and go to a pharmacy, of course you cannot find anything.
But so one of the questions that was posted on for YouTube, and also something that I myself is really interested. Okay, but Christina also, from the YouTube also asked is that at what point did the people in Spain actually start to take the coronavirus seriously? Because and as you have also shared in Hong Kong, actually in January onwards we were already taking it very seriously, right? And but what about from your experience living in Spain right now? When was it? There was an explosion of people saying like, oh, we really need to take this thing very seriously.
Right. Well, maybe a disclaimer. So first is I just started learning Spanish. So I came here with zero knowledge of Spanish language, and I'm still hardly able to understand Spanish newspaper, meaning that my information may not be the most updated. But what I can say is shelves in supermarkets, I think, are a good indicator for how concerned people are. And basically 1 week before the lockdown was officially announced, you could feel the supermarkets were getting emptier and emptier. So that was 3 weeks ago. And actually, me and my boyfriend, we had been monitoring the situation, and so 2 weeks before the lockdown was announced, we already stocked up on food, so we would be able to survive 14 days of quarantine. And then 1 week before it was announced, we could just watch panic buyers, and we were chilled because we had already done our shopping.
so probably Hong Kong gave you an early warning as to what was to come in a way.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
As in, probably Hong Kong has given you an early warning as to be prepared and buy a bit more supplies to last for the upcoming quarantine or something like that.
Especially toilet paper, most importantly.
Yes, and maybe going on to that. So Elliot on the YouTube asked something very relatable. She said, "So what kind of things are people in your neighborhood or in Barcelona? What kind of things are they hoarding? Is it really toilet paper, or are there certain things that are more important than toilet paper?"
Well, somehow, I don't know if Corona is a conspiracy of the toilet paper industry, but it really spread across all countries. Like, we also had, toilet paper missing in the shelves and people hoarding it. But I think it really is like some media effect. I don't have any logical explanation for like why toilet paper. Are you going? No, I don't want to speculate, but really, yeah. So toilet paper was one thing, and also just like the usual suspects like pasta, rice, and also canned fish. Actually, Spanish people love canned fish, and it's really yummy. It's really well made, and so they were just hoarding lots of canned.
I guess that's something Hong Kongers do not hoard. Canned fish.
Well, yeah, it's fish in particular, but Yeah, so
canned food. Yeah.
yeah, so pasta, rice, so a lot of carbohydrate stuff, and toilet paper. As to why we don't know why suddenly everyone is so into toilet paper. Right. So anyway, maybe just for also so that we can get a little bit of more of the image. What is it right now or before and after comparison of Spain? I guess Sophia actually prepared some photos to show us. Would you like to share with our audience as well?
Sure. Just
So give us a moment. Sophia will actually share with you a little bit about her neighborhood. Like how was it like before the coronavirus, COVID-19? How is it like after all the quarantine?
Yeah, and also you may be a little bit jealous of just how nice it all is sometimes in Barcelona for those who want to get out of Hong Kong and want to see Barcelona before virus. So let's see.
Oh wow!
Well, this was 3 weeks ago. So I was hiking, and this is not far away from my home, like 15-20 minutes for walking. And so you can see the city, and then in the back is the Mediterranean Sea. In a sense, it's similar to Hong Kong, as Hong Kong also has many beautiful beaches, and it's an island state in a way. So obviously the sea is nearby. So the temperature-wise, it's also similar to Hong Kong. So it's really beautiful at the moment. So I was hiking, and about 1 week, or let me just share another picture. This is also like 3-4 weeks ago, beginning of March, and people really like to sunbathe and hang out on public plazas. So these kind of plazas, they're everywhere. Like in my neighborhood, within 1 or 2 minutes walking distance, I could reach 4 of these plazas. And on a sunny day, it doesn't matter if it's weekday or weekend, people are hanging out, they're having coffee, chatting, making music. So they really like to come together and be social, right?
Just to clarify, this was 3 weeks ago, right?
3 to 4 weeks ago.
3 to 4 weeks ago, right? Almost a month ago, before all these quarantine measures. This is how it was like in Barcelona.
Yes, shortly before. And here you can also see there are tons of parades that were happening, like, I don't know, every week, every 2 weeks. And they always seem to come up with a reason as to, why to do a parade or some reason to celebrate. And so people were dressing up. And this is a photograph taken from my balcony. And we have, since we've been living here, like within 3 or 4 months, I don't know, we have seen 6 parades at least, right?
Oh, wow.
On our balcony. And I mean, there are way more parades, but this is just right outside our door. And then when you compare it with this was yesterday, you can see there is no one.
So empty on the streets.
I'm sorry?
It's so empty. There's 0 people on the street.
Yeah. Well, there are still exceptions, like when you're allowed to leave your home. Like you have to go out to throw away trash. And this is really cool. Like I'm always excited about throwing away my trash. Never felt so good before. And also you can go to supermarket, but you should basically stay close to your home. So police is patrolling the street, and when they ask you, you should be able to have a valid reason, say you need to go to supermarket, to pharmacy or hospital, or you have a essential job, like you're a healthcare provider or something like that. Or you have a dog, right?
A dog.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. And basically, most people, there are not many people around, but the majority of people that you do see outside are walking the dog.
And this is a question from one of our audience as well, would be that have you seen, after this quarantine, have you actually seen more people bringing their dogs out, just to be able to get out of their home, or because we have seen some funny videos online about people, acting like a dog so that they can go out, or walking a soft toy.
Yeah, so I have heard stories where people saw dogs that were completely exhausted from walking so much.
Poor dogs.
Yeah. They're being used right now.
But if you do not have a dog, I'm curious. Say so there are some exceptions. For example, if you are going to the supermarket or you bring out your trash. I guess like trash, it's easy to see. You have a trash bag in your hands. A dog, you have a dog. But let's say anyone can just go out and say, oh yeah, I'm going to the supermarket. There's no way you can prove it, right? Is there any kind of, is there any enforcement? Do police ask you like, prove it, or like, where's your home? Where's the supermarket? Is it on the way? Or is it just on a system?
Well, I think it's down to the police officer to make that judgment. But two things I want to say, they would ask you, where do you live? And is it within like a few meters radius, or 500 meter radius, or are you actually 20 kilometers away from your home, right? And also, secondly, I actually haven't seen police officers stopping people who are like walking just straight, quite fast paced, so it looks like they are they know where they're going. It's more people who are hanging out, like sitting on benches, enjoying the sun, smoking.
So it's more like the police is really there to make sure that everyone is moving to have a destination to go, and not to just stand around, gather.
Exactly.
So far as what you have seen so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe also I'm also very very interested, like so this whole lockdown, right? So you have explained that unless you have a valid reason, or you're essential worker, you are expected to stay at home. So what kind of, from a personal basis, like how has it affected you, or like your friends, if you know of anybody like physically or mentally? We heard in Hong Kong, when they can't go out, they're like, I just wanna, it's so terrible, I just want to be able to breathe fresh air. But what about
fresh air in Hong Kong?
Or like, get out to nature.
Or maybe another dimension. In Hong Kong, as you know, homes are pretty small. So I think in Hong Kong, maybe people find it unimaginable to stay at home very long. But many Hong Kongers go to European homes and it's like, so big, maybe I have no problem staying in this kind of home. So what are the main feelings? Is it boredom? Do you still feel it's very close and small, even in a European home? Or is it other types of feelings that you or people in Spain would feel about the lockdown?
Well, first I want to say I'm actually, in a strange way, I'm quite happy to be locked into a home in Spain, because as you said, our apartment is much bigger, So that does make a difference. I would say the first days were the hardest, because this is where I felt like the transition the most. And actually, what Spanish people do, like for example, every day at 8 p.m. They open their windows, or they step out on the balcony and they start clapping. They applaud all the healthcare workers, like every essential worker who is in the front lines, the supermarket cashiers, the logistics delivery people, everyone. And they do this every day. And not just that, they also have balcony parties. So they basically just open the window or the door and they turn up the music really loud and they go out on the balcony and start dancing. And they do it together and they're like shouting across to the other homes, like, hey, chica, chica, And I mean, I'm making this up, what they say, because my Spanish is bad.
Okay. And also in Barcelona, they speak another different language.
They actually speak Catalan.
Yeah, Catalan, right? So it's very interesting because this is what you say. So there will be someone playing the music, and then people would just stand on their balconies facing each other and then just singing along and dancing. It's
Yeah.
like an entertainment for them.
Exactly.
A social distance
So-
entertainment.
Yeah, so this was amazing for me to see that people are still interacting. And basically every day we are hearing balcony parties.
Have you joined
Yeah.
in to one of those parties?
Maybe just try
as
to
a-
dance along even though you
Yeah.
don't know the song.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sometimes I go out and I just see what's going on, but I'm a German and for me it's a little awkward.
I know the feeling.
I'm a bit shy when it comes to standing on the balcony and dance in front of everyone, but I do appreciate the spirit, It just lights up the mood.
Is it possible at some point you can record and send to us? I'm just curious. I want to see a balcony party.
I can try, yeah.
Let us know when you record something. It would be great.
Yes, and I think one of the things that the positive side of this whole quarantine is just how we're able to see all this kind of togetherness. That even though we are not physically together, they're still able to come up with ways to interact, like what you say, the balcony parties, the clapping for the healthcare workers as well, and it's something is a bit of a light thing, something that makes us happy in this dark times, you say. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll be looking at our comment and see if anyone else has other questions.
Meanwhile, maybe just want to ask you, Sophia, do you have were there any other examples from you or any of your friends of just like either could be some positive things that maybe have not happened until the coronavirus crisis hit? Maybe people suddenly had an idea to do something for their mental health or do something together, just like the balcony party. Are there any other stories or memories from you? Any interesting things that happened?
Well, I can just say on a personal note here that I'm way more in touch with friends and family. Like I have way more phone calls and mostly video calls. I think that is like the closest to a real meeting or real conversation. And also one thing that I'm talking about with my friends is how do you deal with all this fear and all this anxiety that this whole crisis brings up? And essentially it boils down to how you choose to respond to all of this. Like, for example, are you binge watching negative news the whole time? Or do you maybe watch some comedy or listen to a cat purring, like making these sounds? There are some animals that are so soothing, you can listen to them. And sometimes when I watch too much Corona, I just listen to a cat, like making these sounds, and then it helps me calm. I have these
Okay.
it's really silly, but I'm just saying this because somehow we're so affected by the media that we consume that sometimes we have to just make conscious choices of what kind of media are we consuming, and maybe can we swap to something positive in the meantime.
And I think I do agree with you, like in terms of the whole whenever we wake up in the morning, look at the phone, whether you look at social media or the news, all you see is COVID-19, coronavirus, blah blah blah, and it's very depressing mentally. So tip from Sophia, listen to a cat. That's
Or like cheetahs, when they purr, it's so loud, but it's very soothing. Somehow it's the sound, it's like a special sound that really just calms you down. And you listen to it for 1 minute and you can feel it. Like I feel it.
And of course you listen to it through I suppose through a streaming or YouTube or something like that.
I don't have a cat, I don't have a cheetah. So
Yes, okay, that's a very stupid question for me. Alright. So one of the another question that comes from our audience, okay, would be mask shortages. Okay. So maybe two parts of the question will be is this like masks? Do people wear masks a lot in from what you see nowadays? Or and then is there any difficulties in buying masks if that's the case?
Yeah. So what was really interesting for me is basically since January I was trying to buy masks and they were sold out. Like they were sold out in all of Spain. Basically that's what the pharmacist told me. And I looked online and almost everywhere they were sold out. I do have like 2 masks for me and my boyfriend just in case if we were given these masks by a friend, but yeah, at some point I stopped looking for it because I found it very frustrating. And also there seems to be a cultural difference that like European people don't like to wear masks, but when the lockdown started, suddenly I saw a lot of people. I really saw a lot of people wearing masks, and I was wondering, where did you get them from? Like, they must have been hoarding them for weeks and months. And one of the issues is that healthcare workers and hospitals, they are lacking masks, like really badly. And obviously, many governments and also like some private companies, they stop producing them, so they become more available. But if you're not a frontline worker and you are not coughing, you're not sneezing, you have the option to stay at home, please donate your mask to the people who urgently need it, you know, who are risking their lives and their family lives and they don't have a mask. Please, if you can donate, give it to them.
Yeah, that's a very good message as well.
It's also an interesting dimension to the conversation because in Hong Kong it's very normal that everyone not just wears a mask, but everyone says like you should wear a mask. Like it's we should almost shame the people who don't wear masks, which doesn't make sense in a Hong Kong context. But if there are not enough masks around, it's also in some sense maybe a selfish move to say I have to wear masks. It's a good thing that I wear masks, and maybe some healthcare workers in some places don't have masks. So it's an interesting dimension.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Hong Kong is a single city, right? But like Spain, I don't know, has 40, 50 million people. So imagine everyone needs at least one mask. Actually, every time you go out, you should like put on a new mask. Maybe you need multiple. How are you supposed to keep up with this demand when even right now there isn't enough masks, right? So it's just a matter of resources. Yeah.
Resource allocation but the interesting thing I found is that people actually started wearing the mask nowadays whenever they go around the streets. And
yes, so I would say at least 50%, if not more, of people are wearing masks. But also a lot of self-made DIY masks, or some people just put a scarf. So I don't know how this is supposed to protect you exactly. Like just pull up your T-shirt. This is not a proper filter, but I think it's more psychological that it may make you feel safer because you feel like you've done something.
But I would imagine if you have a scarf or like a shirt, it would still help that if you yourself are sick or you cough, that fewer droplets will actually go out and stick to stuff, right? Like even the droplets can be stopped by a scarf. Yes. So it's better than nothing, huh? I assume.
Yeah.
And one fun thing for you guys, for Sophia, Christina on our YouTube actually also agrees with you that the cat therapy is actually very, very effective. Right. So actually, then my last question, since it's very effective, my last question is that do you have other tips for our audience? You know, be it here in Hong Kong or at any parts of the world, how can you spend more the time that you have during the lockdown? Right? How can you survive it? What do you do during this lockdown period? You can share with our audience who might be looking for new things to do.
Yeah, okay, sure. So first, since I can't go out anymore, I actually schedule phone calls with my friends and family, right?
Yes.
And also, you know, how do I say this? Sometimes I used to work at schools or with students and children doing outdoor education, and for me, a lot of my confidence or self-worth was sort of derived from doing my job, and now I'm at home, and it can feel a bit depressing. And so what I do is I actually put up like some pictures or objects that I got like during really good moments that doing my job, just to remind me who I was and who I want to be when I get out of quarantine, you know, just to lift my own morale. And and not just that, also I actually think of how can I take care of my own mental hygiene. So for example, what were the moments when I felt good, and is there anything that I can put in my room to remind me of this moment? Like for example, I love going to the forest, I love hiking, and it really like calms me down. And so I actually have some dried leaves that I put in my room, and just to remind me of how good I felt when I was walking through the forest. So these are just mental images, but it really helps me remind myself of the good moments and escape the fear for a second.
Yes, I think Sophia, you raised a very, very good point, because many people, when we talk about the whole lockdown, we just think about the boredom or the lack of things to do, the physical things, but we actually tend to forget about the whole mental health issues that come with it. And I think you raised a very good point of how we can actually take care of ourselves better mentally. And I really, really like the idea about putting things that you remember being positive in your room, just to remind yourself. So that's a super, super good point. And in fact, I'm gonna do it tonight. I have to think carefully, like what is it that makes me happy. But I'll be sure to try out your ways as well. Okay, and I think with that, we really have to say goodbye to our audience. Okay, but first of all, I want to say thank you so much to Sophia for sharing your thoughts to our audience. And for those of you who are watching, remember we would like you guys to hear from a first-person perspective, and most of these are all opinions by our guests and us. And we really hope that you will join us again this Thursday next week, and comment in our box below, or let us know from Facebook, Instagram, what would you like to know, or what kind of topics would you like to hear about for our upcoming series. Okay,
even maybe what countries are interested in. So this Thursday will be Italy, and if you're curious about other countries, we're also doing other countries, not just Europe. We'll also look at Asia and just see some differences. And so then we'll have to say goodbye. Sophia, I hope you can then also join us. Maybe you can join us next time as audience and have a look what it's like in Italy and maybe in other Asian countries. Okay.
Yes. So for the rest of you, please remember to
stay safe.
Yes. So please stay safe. Yes.
Let's say, can you teach us at least a little bit of Spanish? Do you know how to say let's stay safe in Spanish, or maybe just goodbye?
I can say in German.
Let me say it in German.
All right.
Bleib gesund.
Right?
Bleib gesund.
Bleib gesund.
Bleib gesund.
Bleib gesund. We stay safe.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Bleib gesund.
In German. Bleib gesund to our to Sophia.
And Kopf hoch. It means positive.
Kopf hoch.
Head high. Head up.
High.
Like keep your head high.
Keep your head
be
high.
positive.
Okay, these are very important words in these times. Okay.
All right.
So thank you so much to Sophia.
Bleib gesund.
Okay.
Kopf hoch.
Thank you so much.
Tschüss.
And,
Goodbye.
Yes. And for our audience here was joining us, we really thank you for all the patience.
For those 5 people who watch live,
Yes.
but also potentially the people who watch later.
Yes, so if you have any questions through Sophia, maybe if I wasn't able to answer your question, please feel free to let us know.
Write in the comments or write on our social media,
Yes.
and we will answer them. We can even ask Sophia again if you have more questions to her. Maybe she has some follow-ups.
Yes, so we promise to make it more smooth as we go on. This is the first trial, so please follow us, like us on Facebook, which is ICEHongKong,
Yes.
or YouTube, Instagram, InterCulturalEducation. Okay, with that, we have to say thank you. Stay safe. Kopf hoch, head high, and we'll see you again this Thursday. Bye.
Bye-bye.